Alright, so we're out. And so we do, of course, have the mission to track down Saren and the Conduit at Ilos. We do still have Besieged Base, though. Well, actually, before we check that out, I do want to see if we can still make a point of doing some of that stuff. Oh, and bring down the sky, of course. But, before doing so, let's, again, because we've done a few more missions since we last checked, let's see if the Alliance Requisition Officer has restocked, because we saw that was not enough for the Requisition Officer back in the Citadel to have started with the Spectre level 10 gear and have restocked on it. But since you did not have it from the beginning, you do have it now. Okay, so again, this means another round of level 10 Spectre gear. And I think we were theorizing how you could potentially get by with just one round of level 10 gear, depending on what your squad might be. But getting 2 rounds of it is pretty sweet, because, you know, in that case, we're only ever using a pistol, so having 2 of everything means that, okay, maybe our 3rd squad member doesn't have one of the level 10 Spectre pistols, but any other weapon, they could all be using the best possible option. So that works really well, and at this point it is not all that necessary for us to purchase really anything else. So looking very good in that sense. So I like that a lot. Let's head back up now. Okay, so what I'd like to see now is if we look at our map, can we still head out to other areas? Because, of course, we now know that Ilos is over here at the Pangea Expanse, which is a new area to us. Of course, we couldn't have gone here previously. However, well, minor-ish spoiler, I suppose. But, in case it isn't clear, we are getting close to the end of the game. And I believe it may be a little more heavy-handed on hinting this later on, although we're getting close to this point anyway. We haven't heard it yet, but, again, spoiler here, minor spoiler here, but, I think it is of some importance if you are playing along with us. Ilos is the point of no return. So, if you do start Ilos, then make sure that you are, or before you start Ilos, make sure that you've done anything else that you want to make sure that you do. So, for that reason, we want to make sure that we still get the chance to do things like, bring down the sky on asteroid, X57 over here, and the Besieged Base, if we can, finish that stuff up on, I think that's in Hades Gamma? But tell you what, I think it's, I think we don't have too much left to do. If I remind myself, pretty sure it's in Caucus, but I should double check. Let me verify. Caucus system, okay. So, my idea here is we'll just go here. We know we've already explored the entire planet. We've already tried going to their base, but unsuccessful in completing this mission, at least with the perfect all-people surviving ending. We've given it several tries at that, so I think what we're going to do here is we're just going to jump in, we're going to give it our best shot. If we don't do it perfectly, then so be it. I think it is, in many ways, by far, the most difficult mission in the game, at least if you're trying to complete it that way with 100% of the scientists saved. So, we'll do what we can here, and if it's not perfect, then so be it. We'll just move on here, because otherwise, you know, we could be spending all of eternity trying to get the perfect conclusion and potentially just not even succeeding at it. So, you know, if we completely fail and everyone dies, then maybe we do it that way. But if we get what we were seeing before, where, like, one person dies, then so be it. We'll live with it. I mean, they won't, but we will. Okay, so that means we are landing on Chohe. And like I said, we've been here before. And the key problem here, the key challenge, is that we specifically do not want to deal much in the way of damage. And we do not want to have much in the way of area abilities for that reason. So tech abilities in particular, with people like Tally and to a slightly lesser extent Garrus, remember that all tech abilities are technically tech mines that blow up with an area of effect. And so there is a pretty good chance that if you use such abilities, then they're gonna go off and take out one of your scientists that you're trying to save. So that's not good. So definitely no Tally. Then biotics, also not really a great idea. So I mean, maybe slightly more control. So Ashley's the only person who does not have any of those types of abilities because she's just a pure soldier. So I think she definitely will get the nod here. Then I want to say Garrus is probably the next best because he's at least the second most pure weapon-y person. But of course, ideally we'd have them do precisely nothing, and ideally we would bait out all the biotics and leave the scientists alone. And so, we've been here before. In fact, this might be the first time we've ever deliberately gone back to a planet that we've already explored. So, when you do this, everything that you have previously explored still shows up on your map here, or at least stuff that has an indicator. And so, the only thing we have left is to go to this science base here. Let's do that. Oh, and also we have, 1 point for Ashley? Yeah, specifically just 1 point for Ashley. So, what would we like? On you, I think you have an advanced adrenaline burst. That might have been what we were going for, I imagine. Let's do that. And then also pick up the helmet, because I don't particularly like it. Okay, so we'll head on over. And like even enemies, like there was at one point in time a Thresher Maw here, but that's gone now. So that should not be a threat anymore. So we're just going to head straight over to the base. Just, to the extent that we can do that without having to circumvent this mountain. Not too bad. Ish. Looks like it's just on the other side of this one here. Here we are. Okay, so of course we know what to expect. Probably will still deliberately save beforehand, and let's also make sure, from an options standpoint, remember, gameplay, power squad usage, none. So, squad member is not going to use any power. So that's one of the reasons why, theoretically, it doesn't matter too much if you have, a biotic person or a tech person, because if you tell them to use no powers, then they should, in theory, use no powers. So it's just their weapons, in this case, and let's make sure that we don't have any squad mates who are using explosive rounds right now, because that, adding the area of effect from those explosive rounds would definitely not help. In fact, if we had any super weak weapons, which I think we actually do, well, for some of our stuff, might be the way to go. Oh, actually, no, the best thing to do, I think we tried this out previously, was to have, both of our teammates using sniper rifles, because it's going to be difficult, though not impossible, for our teammates to accidentally snipe one of the scientists. Whereas, if they're just spraying an assault rifle all over the place, then that's a lot more likely that they'd accidentally hit one of them in the crossfire. Because remember, scientists will, in fact, walk directly in front of you as you're using abilities. That is one of the reasons why it's so difficult. But let's save here. We should be more or less fully set up, I think. Did we confirm on the sniper specifically if they were using explosive rounds? I don't think we've ever used explosive rounds on sniper, or it doesn't look like Garrus is. And doesn't look like Ashley is either, just from the indicators. Alright, so here goes nothing. Take down the terrorists, but remember to check your targets. The civilians are so addled by the drug, they'll wander right into the middle of the firefight. So, again, we're going to give this a shot. You know, if we just absolutely do horrendously awfully and everyone dies, then we'll probably reset. But, you know, if 1 or 2 scientists die, then we'll move on, I think, and just live with it. So the goal is to keep these 2 back here, and ideally have them do nothing in this corner. Although, as we saw previously when we did this mission, our teammates would oftentimes eventually choose to run up and try to help us, and then just cause problems. And so then, what we want to do is open up the store, get the attention of the biotics, and ideally, hide them in here, away from all the scientists, where they are far less likely to get hit by stray weapon fire or other abilities. So here goes nothing. And one thing I think we can do here that we may not have necessarily done last time was if we just fire, that get their attention? Doesn't. Like, that's one of the scientists. Trying to see if I can get me his attention by doing that. Okay, we did. Good, good, good. No, no, no. Garrus and Ashley, retreat immediately, please, because I do not trust you for a second. Okay, that's terrible. That's fine. Okay, let's fall back. Fall back here. This is fine at the moment. Because the scientists, I don't think, will come all the way out here.
I gotta be more careful.
That was a biotic attack, and we've not been hit by them very often, to tell you the truth. So, haven't seen that happen to us much. That's what, 4? So it's a good start. But the problem now becomes, how do we get the rest of them out here without accidentally hitting any of the other scientists taken out? So it did work, firing this off like so. The last time, we kept on trying to go to the left, and this guy or another person out there kept on getting killed. So I think what we do is we try going to the right instead. See? Scientist? Not at the moment. We have a bunch of the bad guys back there. I mean, I'm tempted to try to rush in and see if we can... I mean, I don't know where the other scientists are. I know there are several over there. I don't like that Ashley and probably Garrus have now attacked along with us. But I think we saw there's one over here in this corner as well. We also want to be super careful of all the explosive containers, because, of course, that's another great way to accidentally have some casualties. But, yeah, so I'm tempted to try to just, like, run straight up through the middle. Not immediately seeing any scientists over there. And see if we can take out the biotics from there. This looks kind of safe. That's one of them. Like, we'll take the hit. I don't want the scientists to take the hit. Let's do it. Ooh, I don't like that. Don't like that. Okay. You gotta go. That's one. There's the leader. Oh, I wish I could stasis him right now. Oh, how I wish I could stasis him right now. Ow. He hit us. He's down. We see one more red dot here. Stasis you. Excuse me. Shoot you in the face. You clear the facility. All the civilians are safe, though still chattering to themselves and screaming at the garbage cans. Evolution of humanity, huh? Those biotics didn't seem that different from the other scum you deal with. So, that is... Let's save immediately. Hold on. Let's save immediately. Successful completion of that mission, which, oh boy. I did not think that was going to work out that time. Of course, you saw how many attempts it took us, and we still were not successful the previous go-round.
When I smile, the walls chime. I'm making so much music.
Okay. Sure.
When I smile, the walls chime. I'm making so much music.
So it is also interesting to see just where exactly they were located. Like, this guy, I think, for the most part, we were able to speed past and wasn't too much of a problem, whereas this person, I think, almost always was the one that died first. She was the big issue. And as you can see, most of them are next to explosive containers.
They're in my head. All of them. With knives.
Also, Garrus is casually just poking you through the arm with his sniper rifle. So don't mind him. I thought there was one over here as well. Yeah. So, like, I don't know if she might be within the blast radius there.
Feel me growing. I'm gonna bring it all.
Okay. She-Hulk. And have we tried talking with this guy? Not sure we have.
I can't stop it. I can't stop it. It's all spinning away.
Oh, okay. You do you, bro. Anyone back in this corner? No, doesn't seem like it. So yeah, the success behind that go-round was we were able to draw out a lot of them by just firing our weapon as soon as we entered this room in the middle of, well, making sure we weren't hitting anyone, of course. Then we actually did go straight to the middle, because there was only this guy who was potentially at risk, and stasis some people to try to minimize the amount of stray fire. And then there was really only one person who we had stasis still on cooldown for that I was particularly worried about, but then once we made it through, I mean, and we only had stasis people left to shoot, then that was fine.
Can you feel me growing? I'm gonna bring it all.
Okay. She-Hulk number 2. Let's see what else is back here, if anything. And the answer is this. Locked crate over here. Huzzah. Oh! Okay, just casually pick up the best human armor for us. I mean, we did buy that, like, very recently. But, I mean, it's valuable at the very least. And then, that's, it's good, really good medium armor for Rex. It is the one that has better shields and biotic protection, biotic and, tech protection, rather than pure, like, weapon damage protection.
I can't stop it. I can't stop it.
But it's also
It's all
medium
spinning
armor.
away.
And medium armor actually tends to have, also, a better, sort of, better tech biotic protection rather than damage protection and shields. So I suppose in some ways that might even be preferable. If you were trying to maximize the biotic tech protection, then that would be the armor to do it with. Get this too. Oh, this will take some decryption. Okay. No problem. And, nothing great there. Still got this guy. Ooh, medical exoskeleton 10. I mean, we like that a lot. We are, I think, using that on almost everybody. Certainly us. We already using 10? Yeah, we're using 10. But that is something we'd probably like to put on other people as well. Yeah, we have eliminated the threat posed by the biotic fanatics. Return to the Normandy and use the galaxy map to report to Admiral Hackett. Okay, so Admiral Hackett technically has not yet been informed of the result of this mission. I believe we've now looted everything in here. So let's head on out.
Just lead the way.
And you know, there was a long time there where I didn't think we'd be able to do it. But a very pleasant surprise in that case. Very pleasant surprise. And I'm pretty sure we've got everything here as well. Alright, so that means everything done here, and successfully completed the hardest mission in the hardest way to complete it. But now let's report back to Admiral Hackett.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
I didn't think it could be done, Commander. You managed to secure the base and neutralize the biotics without a single civilian casualty.
Yeah, I didn't think it could be done either, to be honest with you. But glad we could help.
Just doing my job, Admiral. I couldn't let innocent lives be lost.
I wish every soldier had your definition of just doing your job. You're a credit to the uniform, Shepard. We're in your debt. 5th Fleet out.
So there you have it. We've now officially made Admiral Hackett proud of us. Good stuff. So that's everything here. However, and I do need to, I believe, correct myself for something that I mentioned several times previously. Let me exit here for a second. And yeah, our renegade meter is actually getting, it's not insignificant after having done a few renegade options somewhat recently. Our Paragon meter, I'm pretty sure at this point, is just completely full. But I mentioned, I think several times previously, how there are a couple of missions that you only gain access to after you have gained a certain number of morality points, or after you've filled your morality meter only a certain amount. And so for that reason, you tend to only get access to them late game. But of course, the one that we just did, that mission there, is something that you only get once you reach a large portion of Paragon. But there is also a mission that either you get, normally you would only get from filling your renegade meter. And so I had suggested, I had implied, and perhaps even outright stated, that you would get this one that we just finished first, this mission, on show, for rescuing all those scientists, and then if you progressed and got your Paragon meter even more full, then eventually you would unlock the second one. And, well, not really. You get that by filling your renegade meter, and only by filling your renegade meter, and it's just the threshold for filling that renegade meter depends on whether you have already unlocked the other mission for the Paragon route. So, like, theoretically, I think it's basically, you start and unlock the Paragon mission, then it becomes even harder to unlock the Renegade mission, which may just be more or less a way of trying to hard lock you into doing one of those missions and only one of those missions. I believe it is technically, or more or less, impossible to do them both in the same playthrough, unless you, say, maybe go with a Renegade playthrough, and then look at some of the glitches that we've talked about for maximizing your Paragon points. I mean, the one on Veyaria you can do with either getting infinite Paragon or Renegade points. The one on, was it Elitania with the Space Monkeys? That one is only for Paragon. So it's easier to maximize your Paragon with the glitches, but it is also possible to do so with Renegade. So I think either way, one of those glitches would be the only way you could ever unlock both of those missions in the same playthrough, because otherwise it's not possible to get a almost full Paragon and almost full Renegade meter, which is what you would need to do to unlock both missions in the same playthrough. So, with that being acknowledged, we may not be able to do the mission, but that doesn't mean that we can't still go to the planet. I just accidentally landed there? Again? What? I did not press the land button. No! Get out of here. What? I did not press the land button, thank you very much. I pressed the leave button. I pressed the opposite. Alright, we'll leave as soon as we're out of here. Or as soon as we land. Okay. Like so. What I meant to do was instead zoom out to go to the Plutus system. I don't believe we've been to yet. Because although we cannot do this mission, where we would normally only unlock it after getting a large amount of Renegade points, we can still go to the planet, and so of course that means we won't have any major missions on the planet, but it may still be worth taking a look at it. And let's take a look around this solar system as well. So we have Mengito, which is a sun-baked wasteland of sodium, chlorates, and radioactives. Its relatively light mass has left it tidally locked to the star Plutus, the dayside hot pole and nightside cold pole. A powerful solar wind has stripped most of the atmosphere away. It is ridiculously hot, 675 degrees Celsius. Then we get a rare earth element. Got some uranium, okay. So, at the very least, we can get some additional monies, additional experience from checking these places out. Even if there's no primary mission here. So Nebula is a terrestrial planet with a light atmosphere of carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. Surface is hot and mainly composed of magnesia with deposits of sulfur. Over a dozen volcanoes are currently erupting across the surface. Like, they are, as of right now, they are currently in the process of erupting. That's pretty intense. Then we have Clocrolis. Clocrolis is a modest rock planet. It's, it's pretty humble. Roughly the size of Mars. It has a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane. Its scorching hot surface is mainly composed of silicate rock with deposits of alumina and other light metals. Clocrolis has a very weak magnetic field. Sounds a lot like Mars. Maybe outside of the hot part. In addition to very high levels of solar radiation, it is not suitable for Mass Effect drive discharge operations. Okay, but we can survey it. And we'll get some samarium. Then we've got Nonuel, and that was interesting how that's what, the third planet out and it's still scorching hot. Nonuel, we can land here, and it does have a heat hazard, okay. Even at the fourth planet out. So notice, one of the oldest entries in the star charts, Nonuel has not yet been fully mapped. It is the largest body in the asteroid belt of the blue star Pluto, so it's in the asteroid belt. Looked like it had its own independent orbit. Not only large enough to maintain a spherical shape, but also massive enough to retain the noxious carbon and sulfur dioxides venting from its many volcanoes as an atmosphere. Nonuel is rabidly volcanic, that's one way to put it. Okay? And the source of its great heat is also the source of its inordinate mass. Nonuel is a secondary source of element zero, coalesced around a large chunk of Ezo ejected from a supernova billions of years ago. Surface conditions are extremely hazardous. In addition to the thin crust and numerous magma flows, wide stretches of the landscape are coated with slippery ash and cinders ejected from the volcanoes. Okay, it is 127 degrees Celsius, which obviously sounds ridiculously hot for actually landing on it. But I'm pretty sure we've gotten to... I feel like we've been to hotter places that have not had heat hazards. So obviously we will land here eventually. That will be our destination. Yeah, it's not even directly in this asteroid belt. I don't know what they were talking about, but let's, speaking of the asteroid belt, take a quick look here and see if there is anything that is actually in the asteroid belt that we should know about. But, seemingly not. Seemingly not. Yeah, let's check out that was Mengito here. Don't worry. Then we have Veyaria. Veyaria is a huge hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of methane in its atmosphere. Okay, not much else to it then. Can't scan it. So that leaves us with Nonuel. And, alright, let's do it. Let's land. Alright, so we'll pick our team here, and the thing is, this is the planet where, if you had gone with a Renegade playthrough, this would be the place where you would get the late-game Renegade quest, but like I said, because we're going Paragon here, and it is more or less impossible to get both of these missions unlocked in the same playthrough unless you go out of your way to use some of the morality point glitches. Then we're just doing this for the sake of exploring, seeing what else we can find, and I think that will be fairly notable, but does mean that we might spend a little bit less time out on foot, so I'm not sure it's going to matter too much who we bring here, other than... Oh, as the game taps out on me. Reasons unknown to me. Also, that is definitely not where we were at the time, so that's strange. But, why don't we go with... Let's go Tally and Garrus, just because those are some of the people that I feel like we have not been spending nearly as much time with as of late. Very tech-heavy squad. Okay, so remember, there's a heat hazard here, so we may want to put on some of our hazard armor, but we also have a Warlord's Outpost, so this would normally be the quest-related thing, although I think what we'll find here is that we can basically, you know, much like many other quests, you know, there might be a building of some variety that we would enter to do them. However, on this occasion, we just won't actually be able to go in that building. We can still check out this anomaly and this debris and whatever else might be on this planet. And let us make a point of putting some hazard armor on somebody here. And I'm thinking, because Garrus has the Colossus armor, this is really good. So maybe we keep him on that. Whereas for Tally, her existing armor is not that good. So it might not be a huge sacrifice. Might not be that much worse to go with the hazard armor for her. That is, if we even have it. Which I'm afraid we don't. Admittedly, I may have, when selling armor, not have paid the closest of attention as to whether we were holding on to hazard armor. I also may have assumed that we did not have any hazard planets left to go to. So there's that. I mean, Garrus, I'm pretty sure I did see Arian hazard armor. Here it is. Out of curiosity, if we wanted to do it ourselves, could we? Several rounds of Colossus armor, but no. Our only option is to have Garrus do it. So, sorry, I didn't want it to be this way, Garrus, but I'm afraid it's gotta be you. You are gonna have to remove... Or did you have to remove one of your upgrades? No. Okay, you can still keep them, just transferring them over. Gotcha. So now, if we're looking around our map here, why don't we... I mean, do the usual, right? We'll do our clockwise or counterclockwise rotation. In fact, we'll go counterclockwise, and this may even be... will it be? No. Won't quite be the last planet that we go to. But, it's up there. And, well, that looks like lava. So let's not drive in that. Probably wouldn't end well for us. So we're gonna have to keep a close eye out for other hazards like that. Lava and perhaps other things too. Okay, so here is the edge of the map. Ish. And one thing to note about this planet is it breaks about every single rule. And you'll see what I mean in just a few minutes here. But of course there's the lava, which is, we saw it on Therum, the main quest that we did early on to recruit Veyaria, but I haven't seen anything like that since then. And this is of course just a side quest planet, or in this case actually not even a side quest planet for us, but it still has a very significant type of hazard of that variety, unofficially. Of course, I suppose we did read preemptively that it was rabidly volcanic, so maybe it shouldn't have come as too much of a surprise, but, well, see, here's the thing, is, like, how do we get over there? Because, I think we're gonna need to just go around this lava, because we sure aren't going through it. We sure aren't going through it. But yeah, so the lava already makes this planet pretty darn unique, and Therum being the only other place that has it, and Therum is a main quest mission, whereas this is a side quest, or in this case actually no quest location. But that's not all. That's not all. Let's just get around this lava pit first, though. It's rather large and inviting. No, I'm kidding. Although, with the Mako controls, I was a little bit concerned for a minute there. It's like, I don't know. Do we have good enough control to actually turn around, or are we actually going to just have our momentum take us soaring into the lava pit? Wouldn't rule it out. Okay. So we're just going to try to the extent possible, run the perimeter of the planet, as is usually our strategy, although this lava does complicate matters considerably in that regard. So, just make sure we are giving it enough space that we don't accidentally find ourselves falling in. That would be rather unfortunate if that were the case. And there are some really low vibrations on this planet as well, which are, for a second there, it was so low that it made me think that it was not even in-game. Maybe look around like, there's something happening? IRL? But there are other notable things about this planet as well. There are indeed. Which is part of the reason why I was thinking that it would be notable for us to go here, even if, or meaningful for us to go here, even if we didn't necessarily have a mission that we were specifically tasked to do here. See anything on the edge here? We are obviously pushing the boundaries considerably in terms of the bounds of the planet. Not seeing anything here at the moment. Except, hold on just a second.
You need to turn back, Commander. You're going beyond the range of the operational area.
Joker is displeased with us. You'll see how on our mini-map in the bottom right corner, we have a marker on our map. However, on our map, no marker. We've had this happen to us on a few occasions. You remember why? You remember why? Let's just say, might be worth saving here.
You need to turn back, Commander.
Because we got ourselves a Thresher Maw. And a Thresher Maw that is outside the bounds of this planet, technically speaking. Hence, what I was saying before about this planet breaking all the rules. What is this thing? What does this guy think he's doing? Going outside the range of the operation. Oh, hold on. Well, I just went straight up on top of you. And somehow, Mako's not dead right now, but it really should be. As you can see, we took a ton of damage from that. We can't fire our cannon as we are repairing, but, hold on. This is actually very convenient cover here. Very convenient cover here. That did still hit us, though. Like now it's popping back down. Don't actually see where it is. Behind us is the answer. Don't love when he kind of stuck in a corner, like so. Then it's easier for it to land on us. It's obviously not good. He nearly killed us that way before. That was not the direction we wanted to go in. Okay, hold on. Pressure Maw going down. Preferably not popping up directly on top of us, though it was close that time as well. Then also, let's get killed. But, you know, all this being, one of the last Thresher Maws we ever fight. Felt like, why not finish this one off on foot? So there you have it. A Thresher Maw nest that was technically outside the bounds of the world. So, rule breaking in that sense. But let's carry on. I think there may still be more here, although, maybe we get a little bit further off the edge of the map so the Joker stops yelling at us here. And, well, we did have to repair the Mako, which means we did spend some Omnigel, which is something that, it's actually, it's somewhat a nice thing to do, because we're at the Omnigel cap. Very wild at that. So nice to see there is still some benefit, or some use for it. Not just all going to waste, collecting dust. Okay, so let's carry on now. And remember, keep an eye out for the lava. Haven't seen any of it for a while now, but that's not necessarily any reason to let down our guard. Because that sounds like just a perfect recipe for accidentally landing right in a big pool of it and getting fried. Turned into some roast shepherd. Down here at the bottom of this area looks like no lava. And remember, of course, there would be a heat hazard here, but we did put on some armor for Garrus. Some hazard resistance armor to mitigate the effects of that. But theoretically, of course, we could spend this, more or less, this entire mission in the Mako. Let's see, so we've got something show up on our map here. It is the Warlord's Outpost. Which, I suppose we can take a minute here, check out. But as I was saying before, I mean, it's the kind of thing that should look pretty familiar to you. In that it's, you know, your standard base of some variety. Where we would typically jump in for a mission. However, on this occasion, as you can see here, normally you would click on this button, open up the door, head on in, do the mission. But because we technically do not have this mission, we cannot do so. But we can still explore the planet. It's just, nothing is ever going to tell you to go here, unless you do get the mission, so you'd have to realize, hey, I've never been here before. There is, however, this mineral deposit here as well. So let's grab that. And so I suppose, like, there would still be some times like this where we'd be outside the Mako for brief moments, but for the most part here, since we don't actually have anywhere to go into, we don't really need to worry too much about the hazard. We'll get some samarium while we're at it. But now let's head back over to doing our perimeter of the planet. And why don't we actually mark some stuff here, because this is in the opposite direction where we're trying to go. We're trying to go over here. This was the lava pit down here. That was sort of the darker color, which makes me a little curious as to whether we're going to find the same thing happening over there, because it looks like it's more or less the same color on the minimap, at least. Is it just the lowest possible elevation, or is it also the lowest possible elevation with lava in it? Okay, so here's the edge of the map again. So this is where we're looking to be. That's a pretty steep drop-off. But I'd rather not have to go down there unless we absolutely need to. Not seeing anything there at the moment. I think we should be good. Try to inch a little bit closer to the edge, though, as we go further in this direction. We'll see what else we run into here. Of course, we know, I think there was, what, some debris showed up on our map preemptively? So you know there's that. And there might still be some additional minerals or other chests of some variety as well. relatively quiet at the moment, though. Anything down here? No, for a second that looked like it was a mineral deposit, though not seeing anything on our map. And remember what I said, that this planet breaks every rule. Well, there you can see, there's a mineral deposit on our mini-map in the bottom right, and it's very clearly outside the span of this planet. So, let's save. Because this planet is not done yet breaking the rules. Not done yet breaking the rules. Vids, why did you just spend a bunch of Omnigel to repair that tiny bit of damage that you still had to Mako? Because this planet is not done yet breaking the rules. A second Thresher mob on this planet. You may remember that I had said on a previous occasion or two that, maybe not as far as we want to go here, but that, there are some times when you will actually run into two Thresher mobs on the same planet. And, we've not seen it happen yet. This is actually, I think it is the only example in the game of that being the case. We got hit from that one. Moving now, I think you are probably chasing after us, doing the thing where these guys pop up. And you're right behind us. Hello. I know Joker is displeased with us because we are outside the range of the operational limit, but Thresher Mob's going way outside now. Okay. See, where's it going now? Looking at the map to see. That was a wild shot there. And, there it goes. It goes down. And, so, like I said, continues to break the rules. That's two Thresher Mauls on the same planet, two Thresher Mauls outside the range of the operational limit. As you see here, when we're outside the Mako, we are clearly outside of it, as is this titanium deposit. So for many reasons, this planet breaking the rules, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe that will be, minor spoilers I suppose, our final Thresher Maw of the game. And so toward the end there, we had, not that Thresher Maw, but the previous Thresher Maw we fought on foot, or at least we finished on foot, and then, I think the one prior to that we might have done so as well. Very last one I suppose. So be it. We started to get some finishing hits on the Thresher Mauls on foot, which is, again, once upon a time in the original Mass Effect, was meaningful because you got more experience if you fought on foot than you did in the Mako. No longer the case for Legendary Edition, but, you know, I felt like kind of thing where I'd like to at least test our limits a little bit, see if it's possible, and in theory, as you get further along in the game, and you get, say, level 10 Spectre gear, which we actually haven't equipped yet, but theoretically if you had that, or I think even weaker gear than that, you can deal damage more quickly than you can in the Mako. So, if you're just trying to take out the Thresher Maw as quickly as possible, theoretically that is the way to do it. It's just that, obviously, it's quite dangerous to do so.